Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and today we're making green tomato chow pickles. All right, now, for seasonings, I gotta get my salt out. You're gonna need celery seed, mustard powder or mustard seed, and turmeric. Now I'm out of turmeric, so I'm gonna zing this up with curry powder. Now I know this doesn't seem a lot to work with, but what I have here is, yes, I could have let them grow bigger, but I got two small zucchini. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these little mini peppers from my garden. I won't be growing them next year. And a few handfuls of small green tomatoes that I don't think are going to make it to harvest. So let's just put all these back in here. They've been washed and rinsed. And first things first, we're going to start cutting these up and putting them in our bowl. And yes, my knife sharpener worked really well. Now, this size, I'm going to cut these in half. And we want not thick slices, but slices thick enough that you hope to get a crunch even after they've been processed. Oh, and you're going to need some onions too. I'm going to say two medium-sized onions. One of my favorite vegetables. All right, now here's our little peppers, and I'm just gonna, these are sweet peppers, not hot peppers. Pop the seeds out of there. These are gonna get rinsed anyway, once they are been soaked in salt. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, I might make these a little bit thicker. Yeah, these are mini sweet peppers. They're bountiful. There's a lot of them. There's going to be plenty of these little peppers for my garden vegetable medley. But right now, these are just the first few coming ripe. So I thought they'd be wonderful in my green tomato, garden medley, vegetable, bread and butter, pickle, whatever these are. Now, you're not getting exact measurements from me, guys. Why? Because there's so many different varieties of vegetables here. We got onions, green tomatoes, peppers, and zucchini, that I'm just going to measure all of the vegetables and then calculate my sugar and vinegar and spices, okay? Oh, I almost missed a zucchini. I don't save pepper pieces for vegetable broth anymore. I find they make it bitter. So they'll go in the compost. These are those subarctic plenties, and that's, now that it's turning pink, that's as big as that's going to get. I won't be planting them again. I like to use the smallest green tomatoes I can find because they have less seeds and more meat, so they stand up better as a pickle. I guess this would be considered a chow pickle, eh? So let's call this green tomato chow pickles. We don't eat a lot of sweet pickles and relishes, so one recipe of this is going to be plenty for us until next year or even the year after. Unless lunch meat starts going up in prices, then I'll be doing this on cheese sandwiches or on sandwiches to beef things up. And at the end of the season, if I still have lots of little green tomatoes, I'll just make another batch. Oh, and another pepper. I mistook it for a little green tomato. 7. All right. 7 it is. I'm going to shake, I don't know, about 3 tablespoons of pickling salt. In layers with these vegetables. Now we're going to cut up some onions. You're going to want these to be in salt and ice for about 3 hours. I'm going to say 3 medium onions. This is medium, this is a tad on the small side, and this one is bigger, so these two make them 2 medium. Now some people like to slice their onion really, really thin. Howie loves the crunch of an onion. So, save your good bits for your broth bag. I made juice yesterday, green juice, and I have 3 celery stalk bottoms in the freezer. So it's starting to build up. I'll be making vegetable broth from scraps soon. This is about as thick. I'm going to say 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick is the way Howie likes them. Now I'm going to say that that's 1.5 cups to 2 cups of onion. Now we're going to salt these. Give them a toss. Ow, I have nicks on my hand. That doesn't tickle. And if you want more onion, put some more onion in. But I'm going to say we've got 9 cups of veg here. All right, let's get some ice on that and set it aside. There ain't much ice, but that'll do. I'll add some more in a little bit when my ice maker makes more. Okay, in my pot here I have 1 cup of packed brown sugar. I'm going to put in 3/4 cup of cider vinegar. Now I'm going to turn that on to between medium and maximum. Now again, I would normally use turmeric, but curry is a nice substitute. If you don't like curry, then add a bit of cumin or leave it out altogether. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of curry, a teaspoon of celery seed. Okay, that wasn't quite a teaspoon. There we go. And a teaspoon of mustard powder. We want to get this cooking and get the sugar dissolved. Now there's still some salt on these. That's why you don't see me adding any salt. I gave these, I strained them and gave them maybe a 5 to 10 second rinse under the sprayer. So there's still salt on there. So now, here we go. We're just going to dump all this in here. And we're just going to bring this up to a bit of a simmer, but we don't want to overcook it because we don't want our veg to be soft. I have 7 half-pint jars in the boil-a-bath canner. Here is our cooking veg. I'm going to shut it off now because we don't want it to cook soft. There are our lids in hot water, washed and rinsed. I'm going to use a 1 cup scoop. Just seems to work better. Push those down in there. A little bit more. A little bit of juice. There we go. Always, always wipe your rims with a clean damp paper towel or clean rag soaked in vinegar, water, or vinegar. I think my magnets, whoops. On goes the lid. Fingertip tight, and into the canner that goes. Clean hot jar from the canner. One cup of the veg. Always, always wipe your rims and threads with a clean damp paper towel. Clean lid. Fingertip tight. Ouch, hot. Into the canner that goes. Alright, and the last bit in the pot, I'm just going to put in this jar and put in the fridge, and with any luck, you guys will get a taste test from Grandpa's tonight. These 5 half pints are going to bubble away because the jars were hot, the pickles were hot, and the canner was hot. We're going to let them bubble away for 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to call this green tomato chow bread and butter pickles.
What am I trying?
You're trying the bread and butter. These are a chow pickle. It's got peppers and onions and zucchini and green tomatoes, a little bit of curry powder, a little bit of mustard, sugar, vinegar.
Cool.
Well, if meat gets any more expensive, you'll be having them on cheese sandwiches. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying just because you only get a little bit of this and a little bit of that from the garden doesn't mean you can't make some delicious bread and butter chow pickles. Take care, God bless. Folks, if you're a home canner and you're not trying 4 Jars canning lids, you are missing out. These are heavier than any other disposable lid on the market. They are a US company, and if you order over $100, your shipping is free. Check in the description box below this video for a link to 4 Jars canning lids and use the coupon code HALFACRE, all one word in capital letters, for 10% off. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for ideas and recipes. 4 Jars canning lids, you can't go wrong.